All right, this is the second of two videos that really the intention of this video is to help us replace the content that we would have gone over on the 11th of January, second day of class. Kind of giving you a little bit of a teaser what to expect throughout the type of topics throughout the rest of the semester, especially coming out of the textbook. Um, and um, and also kind of give you a little bit of a way to manage your expectations about the dovetails between or about the similarity between the PowerPoints and lectures. Um, there are some things that I won't be able to do in this video that I would have done in class, some experiential stuff, but this will be the closest approximation that I can do. All right, so MGIS 3000. Um, there's a whole lot of expectations that students bring into this class, some of which are realized, a lot of which aren't realized. And so I would love to do a little exercise with you where I could say, hey, what do you think we're going to learn about in this class? You've already seen the syllabus, you've already seen the schedule, and I think you'd be surprised about a lot of the stuff that we're not going to cover. By the end of this little video, you'll hear a little bit about what I consider to be technical knowledge. We're not going to do a lot of coding. We're not going to be building networks. We're not going to be building software. Even though I say that, we're going to do some days in the lab where we really do build some software, but you don't. It's not like I'm going to be able to do in 1 or 2 days what you could learn in a computer science degree. Um, I can give you a little bit of knowledge to make you dangerous, but there's no way that I'm going to be able to teach you how to be a good coder, a good builder of networks and hardware um, in 1 or 2 class periods. I mean, this is something that you'd have to major in and potentially get advanced degrees in to become good at, right? And so we really don't talk a lot about the technical nature of a lot of the how to. We don't learn how to do things. We learn about some capabilities. We learn how to manage technology and manage change. And so really management information systems or information systems professionals, at least that the type of careers we're going to talk about in this class are very much managerial, right? Executive, strategic. Okay. All right. So you've heard about land, labor, and capital. These are major. Um, these are things that are worth value, that are needed in organizations, and in 2018, information is just as important in most industries, right? And so we find that competitive advantage can come from having better information, asking better questions that our competitors, um, and we find core competencies flowing through information just as much as land, labor, and capital that we've been learning about since first grade, right? Okay, defining information systems. I'm going to have to go backwards here a little bit. We'll talk about information systems definition in a little bit and compared to others. But first thing I want you to know is that information systems have five components. They're all listed right here. People, which we don't think about a lot, right? Um, there's a lot of different kind of people. There are users, there are end users, people that log on to systems and use systems and have apps, whatever. Um, there are people that build systems. There are the people that manage systems. So people cover a lot of different aspects and a lot of different levels of our information systems. Hardware and software, you've heard of, right? These are the raw materials. Data. Data is a key component of an information system. And we'll talk a little bit more about that definition a little bit. And then telecommunication networks. Those are the 5 components. Telecommunication networks are what connect all the different nodes in our system. And throughout the semester, we'll talk more in depth about all of these things. All right, next. Okay, data. How do we distinguish data from information and knowledge and so on? I'm sure you've heard these definitions before. Data are as raw and unformatted as you can see there in the example on the slides. String of numbers. These are just raw bits of data, right? Information, we start adding context to our raw unformatted data, right? As you can see there, those are the same string of digits under information. But what is it now? Do you know what it is? You do know. It's a phone number, right? It adds, can we add more context, right? Can we add someone's name by that? And then we know, hey, that's Professor Campbell's phone number. Ooh. I've actually never tried to call that phone number. Let me know if it's real. All right. As we add more context, we can even improve that definition of information into knowledge. Finding relationships between pieces of information then creates knowledge, right? We can learn something. We can know something we did not know before as we continue to add context to our data. You know, there's a funny thing, I like to joke about this a little bit. You know, information systems over the years, over the last 50 years, has essentially done the same thing and labeled it different. So we've seen a progression of buzzwords, right? We used to call information systems just computers. And then we add a little bit more to our marketing campaign and we say, okay, no, this isn't just a computer, but this is a decision support system. It helps us make decisions. And we add a little bit more marketing into our R&D and our communication plan in our business, and we say, oh, this is an information system, not just a decision support system. It actually spits out information. Well, yeah, it really just does the same thing as a decision support system or a computer before that. And so I fully expect that soon, in the next 10 years, we're going to come up with wisdom systems, right? That just put pure light from the heavens into your mind, right? And essentially is the same concept of every computer and network from the beginning of time over the last 50 years as this has developed. So watch as throughout your career these buzzwords change, but really they just mean the same thing. All right, here's a little bit of a depiction of how data can transfer all the way through this process and keep adding contexts, right? Identifying more and more relationships, applying it to more and more domains. We can turn data into something that is actually useful and powerful at times, right? Okay. All right. How does an information system, which we defined as that thing that has 5 concepts, right? Sorry, 5, not 10. 5 concepts. Let me block that light. That's driving me nuts. I hope it's not driving you nuts, right? Technology is basically anything that replaces human effort. Okay, so like the good old wheel or the lever, these are technologies, right? How we define it in this class. The next distinction, information technology. What's the difference between technology and information technology? Well, information technology uses information as an input, okay? So if you think about a robotic arm like in this picture, there's information going in that controls that thing, that technology that replaces human effort. You know, we have most toasters today could be considered information technology because there's a little bit of computer and computation happening there. We want it light, dark, brown, toasty, whatever, and we can set that input, right? A computer-based information system, which is synonymous with information system in the slides before, are more than that, right? We have information as an output. Okay? Information system So we bring data in one side, and output is information or knowledge or wisdom, however you want to define how powerful that output could be. But remember, these information systems all contain those 5 components. All right, so that's the distinction between that technology. I love this slide. If you go and download the slides right after this video, you'll see that I took a lot of slides out from this video. That's not to mean that those slides are not important. It just means that I probably wouldn't have talked about it in class. So it gives you a little bit of an insight into how the PowerPoints and my lectures kind of dovetail a little bit. I kept this slide because it's very necessary. Look, so we have the past where IS professionals just essentially sat in their desk and sharpened pencils. Very not cool. But then in the present, if you look over on the other side, they became cool, right? So now IS professionals are awesome. Not so in the past, but now in the present. Yes, so all of you should change your major, should change your life goals, and become you should start working toward becoming an information systems professional. All right. Do this all day long, every day. All right. This slide wasn't in the PowerPoints that I have on Course Connect, but I definitely would say this in class. Something that I will repeat in class always. If you know the answer to this question, when I ask you the next time I see you, you will start to become one of my favorite students because you'll have taken away. This will definitely be on comps if you're going to be a business administration major. So remember this answer. There's only 2 reasons. These are the 2 reasons that you would spend money on information technology, on any kind of system. The reason is, 1, it will create a competitive advantage for you. 2, the second reason is it will solve you a business problem. If it doesn't do one of these 2 things, we do not spend money on it. We do not invest in information technology, information systems, if it doesn't do one of these 2 things. All right? These are the only 2 purposes for investing in technology. All right? The reason I wouldn't have put this in my PowerPoints, if it weren't for this video, I wouldn't be there, is I would want you to remember these things. This is not something I want you to forget about until the day before the final or the day before the midterm. This is something that will be ingrained into your mind before that moment. All right? And so there's another little hint. Not every little detail is in the PowerPoints. You're really going to have to pay attention and contribute and take in the information from lectures if you want to get an A in this class. Okay. All right. I think this might be the last slide, if not the second to last slide. 3 different competencies that we're going to talk about in this class: technical, business, and system. We talked a little bit about technical. This is the how they do the hardware, the software, networking, security. This is the how-to stuff, how to make it work, how to build it. We're going to talk a little bit in class about this, but not a lot. Business competency. I'm going to actually most of the time assume that you already have this from your other classes, or at least from common sense. You need to understand how to make a business work, how to spend less than what you earn, and what is going to create demand and have a real relationship with your target market. Systems competency is the blend of those 2 things, how to connect the 2 things, how to integrate your systems to be a foundation and uphold your business competency, your business model, your revenue model. You are never going to put technology or systems ahead of your business model, right? It supports it, it enables it, it doesn't replace it, or we should not put the cart before the horse, right? Okay, so these are the 3 things that we're going to talk about. Mostly in this class, we're going to focus on system and a little bit of business and a little bit of technical, but mostly system. Okay, these are the 3 types of competencies that we're going to talk about. All right, dual nature of IS. Okay, information systems can either make you a lot of money or save you a lot of money. Either way, beneficial to the bottom line, or they can be way too expensive, or they can be the reason why you go bankrupt. there's a lot of different. I put on here Denver, Colorado, and FedEx is a good success story. Denver, Colorado Airport is an example of how it can go badly. How many of you have gone to the Denver, Colorado Airport? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand. Thank you. All right, you raised your hand. Why is it? See, uh, why is this a good example of, or a good example of a bad example of IT investment? Well, have you seen Toy Story 2? Toy Story 2, the movie. Pause this video, go watch it if you need to right now. Come back. All right, Toy Story 2 at the very end. Prospector Pete, the guy with the little pitchfork, right? Do you remember at the end when they were about to get shipped to Japan and the little case went into the airport baggage claim area back there and there was no people? All kinds of conveyor belts and baggage were going all over the place. That was Denver, Colorado Airport's vision of how to manage baggage, and they were going to do it. They were going to fire all their baggage handlers, and they were just going to have machines and an information system processing all the baggage. Well, they went billions of dollars over budget. They went years and years, I think 8 years over schedule. And the best part is when they went live, when they said, okay, we're going live, it took less than 24 hours for them to be back on the phone with the baggage handler union saying, please come back to work. And if you go to the Denver, Colorado airport today, you will see lots of humans running around handling your baggage. Yeah, if you do it wrong, it can be a huge, huge effort or force towards your organization's demise. If you do it correctly, you can create competitive advantage. I have a piece of paper here that has a lot of different summaries of different companies that have done these things wrong and how much is expensive, how much it cost them. Let's see, Greyhound line, Greyhound bus, how much did they lose? $61.4 million they lost in a failed software rollout. Hershey, the chocolate bars, $150.5 million lost on a software and business process fixes. Went over schedule 2 years. Where else? What else? Some of these you've never heard of. Universal Oil, Tri-Valley Growers, Oxford Health Plan. Anyway, the list goes on and on. These are all real-world examples of the way that technology can be done wrong. And so in this class, we are going to learn how to do it wrong so we don't do it wrong, and then how we can leverage technology correctly. What are the rules of thumb? How can we think about this strategically to help us, help our organizations? All right, so this lecture combined with chapter 1 in your text, hopefully you have gained access to that, started reading it, doing the exercises, have done the pre-quiz, right? Remember, the last quiz of every chapter potentially can count for your grade. The highest 2 quiz grades, the final chapter grades, count towards your assignment quality grade in this class. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh yeah, don't forget, on Tuesday the 16th, bring or email me your article summary for IT Doesn't Matter or Platform Leaders. We're going to discuss both of those articles in class, and so I expect you to be ready. All right, talk to you later. Onward and upward. See you later.